This is for lesson 9-2, solving quadratic equations by factoring. I'm on page 374. So the first section here, we have them already separated into the factors. So these are the two things, the two polynomials that you would multiply to get a quadratic. If I multiplied these two, I'd get something like ax squared plus bx plus c. So you see how it's set equal to 0? Because when you're talking about the solutions of a quadratic, you're talking about your x-intercepts. And your x-intercepts are when y equals 0. That's why they're always set equal to 0. So in order for this whole thing to equal 0, either x minus 10 is 0, which would mean that I'd multiply 0 times whatever this is and get 0, or x plus 20 is 0, and then I'd multiply 0 by whatever this is, and it would still be 0. One of the factors has to be equal to 0 to make the whole thing 0. So there's either one solution, two solutions, or no solution with these. So these are really easy. We're just going to say x minus 10 must be 0, or x plus 20 must be 0. Because then when I multiply them, the whole thing would come out as 0. So then I'd have to add 10 here. So x equals 10. And on this one, I'd have to subtract 20. X equals negative 20. These are a little bit trickier, but you just have an extra step. 3x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract the 4. You get 3x equals negative 4. And then divide by 3 on both sides. And you get x equals negative 4 over 3. Or x minus 4 equals 0. Hi. Add 4. I don't have one. And x is 4. All right, these are not already factored. So then we need to do that where we do the factors of the a times c that add up to our middle term here. So 32, we want a times c that adds up to b. A is 1, so it's really just 32. We've got 1 and 32. 2 and 16, and I'm going to stop there because 2 and 16 make 18. These are a little easier because there's only a 1x squared, so it's going to be x and x. It's just x plus 2, x plus 16. So then when you make them equal 0, you do x plus 2 equals 0 or x plus 16 equals 0. I'm running out of room. If we have x plus 2 equals 0, you subtract 2 and x equals negative 2. If it's x plus 16 equals 0, you subtract 16, x equals negative 16. Trying to find one that's a little trickier. Okay, any of these here will work. I'm going to do number 11. We have 2x squared plus x equals 15. So now we do have a number in front of here, so it's going to be a little bit harder to solve. And it's not set equal to 0, but we don't have a number here. So I want to make it look like these up here, which means I want a 0 here. To get rid of this 15, I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. So I get 2x squared plus plus x minus 15 equals 0. Then we do a times c, make it add up to b. 2 times negative 15, I'll do this over here, is negative 30. And we want it to add up to our middle term, which is just a 1. So 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10. 4 doesn't go in evenly. 5 times 6. See, they make a negative 30, so one of them needs to be negative. It's a positive 1, so negative 5 and positive 6 add up to positive 1. Now, you have to figure out, you have to do the box now because you can't just say 2x minus 5. You're not sure, we can't tell right away what the factors are going to be yet. It works a little differently when there's a number here. So the first term goes in the first box. The last term goes in the last box, the negative 15. And then it's negative 5x and positive 6x. Then we pull the common factors out. 2x squared and 6x have 2x in common. Negative 5x and negative 15, since this is negative on the outside, this is negative here, and they have 5 in common. 2x squared and negative 5x just have x in common. 6x and negative 15 have 3 in common. So then think about 2x times x is 2x squared. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x, but 2x times 3 is 6x, so that makes the 1x. And negative 5 times 3 makes the negative 15. So that all makes sense. So these are the factors that you multiply to get this equation. That means that 2x minus 5 times x plus 3 is the same as this equation right here. Then I just set them equal to 0. 2x minus 5 equals 0, or x plus 3 equals 0. This is add 5, divide by 2, you get x equals 5 halves, or subtract 3, x equals negative 3. I hate that they give you this little teensy spot for it, but there we go. All right, and then this one is so much easier than, oh, well, they did kind of make it tricky. No, that's okay. It crosses right in the middle of a box here and in the middle of a box there. So what this is at x is 0. No, y is 0. X is 7.5, y is 0. And this is at negative 0.5, 0. So remember, like, if we had x plus 2, x plus 16 as our factors, then our answers ended up being x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 16. So guess what? X equals negative 0.5, x equals 7.5. You say x plus 0.5, x minus 7.5 equals 0. I just kind of did the backwards way of, you're just undoing what we did up here to find what x equals.